plaintiff, Matthew Wheeler, first dated the defendant 25 years ago, but they reconnected 20 years later and rekindled their romance. Matthew claims a couple of months into the relationship, he realized the defendant was an extreme alcoholic who hid liquor bottles around the house, and he's suing her today for breach of contract. Defendant Tiffany Jers admits that she had a drinking problem, but insists Matthew did too, and they were not good together. Tiffany claims she quit drinking for over a year, but Matthew was unsupportive and continued to drink around her. Tiffany does not believe she owes Matthew for anything.
Start with you.
Okay, started about 25 years ago when we met, started dating briefly. We ran into each other 20 years later, about 6 years ago. And things, in a couple months, it seemed that she was an extreme alcoholic. And that...
What'd you do to her? Become an extreme alcoholic in 2 months.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, I did it by myself.
When I met her, she was coming off of a recent DUI, and she promised to change herself and a few other things.
When you met her, she was already had a drinking problem.
A little bit, yes.
All right. You didn't state it in that way.
Okay.
It sounded as if she was fine until she met you.
Well, it seemed as though.
2 months later, she was an extreme alcoholic.
Right.
So that's really driving a person to drink.
Yeah, I would agree.
Go ahead, sir. So
Okay.
she had already had a problem, but was trying to recover.
Correct. We had talked about it several times, and she said that she was trying to get better with everything, going to AA, whatever. So recently after that,
Did you have liquor around the house?
tried not to, but she
Liar.
would sneak it.
You?
No.
Okay.
No.
Absolutely.
He did?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, because that's a trigger.
Yes.
You can't have liquor and wine for her. She walking by it every day.
I
Or
agree.
you'd come home drunk, so what's the difference?
Yeah, or have it on your breath.
Yes.
And try to kiss somebody.
Yeah.
Smelling like a bottle of gin.
Yes, I would agree.
You did.
I did not have any. I'm
You
saying I
said you
agree that
agreed.
would be bad.
Go ahead.
Okay, so she would hide bottles of liquor around the house, stash them places. After a while, like 2012, there was an incident which I have the police report for, that we were at a bar and had a few cocktails. She was okay for a couple, and then after that's when I call it the Jekyll and Hyde thing, when she would be fine and then turn into Hyde afterwards.
What did you do to help? How did you try and help her?
He took her to the bar.
Absolutely.
Took her to the bar,
Absolutely.
right?
Well, it wasn't. I'm also a DJ, so part of what I
An
do,
alcoholic.
I'm in bars and clubs all the time.
And you took her to one.
Well, she would want to go with me. Yes, she was an extreme alcoholic, and that.
What did you do to her? Become an extreme alcoholic in 2 months.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, I did it by myself.
Defendant Tiffany Jers is being sued by her ex-boyfriend, who claims Tiffany was such an extreme alcoholic that she would hide liquor bottles around the house.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Your Honor, we were toxic. Honestly, we were toxic for each other. He can come off like it was all me. It wasn't all me. Were we both bad for each other? Absolutely. Did we have some good years together? We most certainly did. It was either one of us had to quit or, it wasn't going to work. I decided to quit. I did. I quit for 1.5 years. I thought he was going to be there, be supportive of it,
You did.
but he wasn't. He didn't sit there. He didn't quit.
You didn't
He
quit.
would go out or he wouldn't come home. He would come home, bring liquor home, or he would come home drunk. And then it would cause an issue and it would cause a problem. And if I got mad, then he would get mad. Were we mad with each other? Absolutely. Were we violent? Yes. If he would get mad, I would get madder. If he would push, I would push. It was, we weren't good for each other. He was controlling. That made me, of course, that made me. Then we went on vacation, and that's when when we got back from vacation, I still didn't even drink. But after a while, like I said, we weren't good for each other. So I decided, if you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it with you.
When did you all break up and how? And how and
It
why
was
and when?
around Thanksgiving. He went out to go see his mom in Kentucky, and he had decided to call me. I thought he was calling just to say hi, but he called to basically say, "Is there someone in the house?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have my friend over." And I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "You're watching me on the cameras?" Because he had cameras in the house. So he called to basically say who's in the house and why, and I don't want her in the house. And
It was
You
a
had
woman.
called me.
Why? It was a woman?
yeah, it was my girlfriend that was over, you know. And I was like, this is
Somebody
it.
that
I
stole it
can't.
from both of us.
She didn't steal from me, and he can't prove that she stole from him. He's just assuming, which you know how that saying goes. So I was like, that's it. I'm done. You know, he got home, and we agreed. We both agreed that it was done. It was time to be done. And
Sir, why do you say you all broke up?
Well, when we moved in together, we had agreed that she would pay a portion of the rent, which was $350, and I would pay $700, and then she would take care of the utilities that were left over. And that was the agreement that we had for the 6 years we were together. Now, when all this happened at Thanksgiving, I had gone to see my mother and take my daughter and do some Thanksgiving things. And I had gotten a call from her saying that why am I watching her on the cameras, which I have monitors in my house that, because I have a lot of valuable things. Don't live in the greatest neighborhood. So she had called me to find out why I was
So
watching
you live
her.
in Ghetto Fabulous.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Go ahead. Sir.
Okay. So in 2012, there was an incident to where we were at a bar drinking, and she got turned into the hide that I was talking about, and I left because normally what I would do is leave the place wherever she's at, whatever she's doing, because I don't want to be around her when she.
I've heard all that, sir.
Okay.
Right.
We're done with the alcohol stories.
Okay.
You
So-
broke up because you saw a friend of hers in the home?
No, because when I called there, we had just recently had a talk
Got that.
about things, and we were working on ourselves, and she was going to be sober again, and because we had our ups and downs.
Okay, so you saw her drinking on camera?
No, I could tell. I could tell just by the way she talks.
On
I
camera?
didn't deny I was.
No, on the phone.
Okay, so she doesn't deny that, and so that's why you broke up with her?
Yeah, I was finally tired of it.
Okay. What's the breach of contract for?
Well, the breach of contract is that when I did come home and she had come to the house, I wanted to make sure that she was going to honor what she had said she was going to do. She said she
The
was going
lease.
to pay until the end of the lease, which I had her sign.
Because I wasn't on the lease, Your Honor.
All right. All right, Tiffany, I'm going to pay $350 per month as per the lease states until May. All right. And ma'am, he says you owe for 4 months, and what is your response?
I don't believe I do.
Okay. You sign this?
Yes, I did out of duress, Your Honor, because he told me when I decided that I was going to do this and move out, that if I didn't take all my stuff out then, that he would either throw it all out on the curb or I couldn't come back and get it.
I never said
You absolutely did.
I can show you the posts.
You can show the post. I was sitting there in the living room with you. There was no
I can
post.
show you, yes, okay.
So I said, well, at least let me get my necessities so I can go to work.
And you got all your things?
I got all my things out at the end of January. I signed it and I paid him for that month, and I didn't pay him the rest. I got all my stuff out. He even kept stuff. We did it as a, he kept silverware, he kept some dishes, he kept furniture.
When did you move out?
I moved out then February 1st.
Of 16?
Yeah. Decided to quit. I did. I quit for 1.5 years. I thought he was going to be there, be supportive of it,
You did.
but he wasn't. He didn't sit there. He didn't quit. He
didn't
He
quit.
would go out or he wouldn't come home. He would come home, bring liquor home, or he would come home drunk.
Defendant Tiffany Jers is being sued by her ex-boyfriend, who claims Tiffany was such an extreme alcoholic that she would hide liquor bottles around the house.
Well, your problem is you say he had you sign this under duress when you were moving. And you were moving in February 16. This was signed December 15, before you were moving,
Okay.
not February. Judgment for the plaintiff, $1,400. Have a good day.
Just glad it's over.
Me too.
That's all.
Have a good life.
Me too. Want you happy.
Also.